In a lush, green forest, there lived a brave little rabbit named Ruby. Ruby was known for her courage and quick thinking, even though she was the smallest in her family. She lived with her parents and 3 siblings in a cozy burrow beneath a large oak tree. One sunny morning, Ruby's mother asked her to gather some fresh berries from the bushes at the edge of the forest. Ruby happily agreed, hopping off with a small basket. She loved the sweet smell of the berries and enjoyed picking them. As Ruby collected the berries, she heard a rustling sound behind her. Turning around, she saw a large fox lurking in the bushes. Ruby's heart raced, but she remembered her mother's advice to stay calm and think quickly. "Good morning, Mr. Fox," Ruby said cheerfully, hiding her fear. "Would you like some berries? They're very tasty." The fox was taken aback by Ruby's unexpected friendliness and stopped in his tracks. "Well, I was looking for something to eat," the fox said slyly. "But I was thinking of something more filling than berries." Ruby realized she needed to act fast to protect herself. "Oh, I understand," Ruby replied. "But have you ever tried Mrs. Owl's special berry pie? It's the best in the forest. She always gives me a piece when I bring her fresh berries." The fox's curiosity was piqued. "Mrs. Owl's pie, you say?" the fox asked, licking his lips. Ruby nodded eagerly. "Yes, if you help me pick more berries, I can take you to her. I'm sure she'll share a piece with you." The fox, tempted by the thought of a delicious pie, agreed to help Ruby. They picked berries together, and Ruby cleverly led the fox deeper into the forest, away from her home. After a while, they reached Mrs. Owl's tree. Ruby called out, "Mrs. Owl, are you home?" Mrs. Owl, a wise old bird, peered down from her branch, curious about the unusual duo. Ruby quickly explained the situation to Mrs. Owl, who understood the rabbit's clever plan. "Ah, Mr. Fox," Mrs. Owl said, "I do have a special pie, but it needs more berries. Could you help Ruby collect some more?" The fox, eager to taste the pie, agreed. As they gathered berries, Mrs. Owl whispered to Ruby, "I'll keep him busy. You should head home and stay safe." Ruby thanked Mrs. Owl and quickly made her way back to her burrow. When Ruby returned home, her family was relieved to see her safe and sound. She told them about her encounter with the fox and how Mrs. Owl helped her outwit him. Her parents praised her bravery and quick thinking. Meanwhile, Mrs. Owl kept the fox occupied with various tasks, keeping him far from the rabbit's burrow. Eventually, the fox grew tired and frustrated, realizing he had been tricked. He decided to leave the forest in search of easier prey. Ruby's bravery became a legend among the forest animals. They admired how she used her wits to protect herself and her family. Ruby, though modest, was proud of how she handled the situation. From that day on, Ruby continued to help her family and friends, always ready to face challenges with courage and cleverness. She knew that bravery wasn't about being the biggest or strongest, but about using one's mind and heart.